Welcome back to our next tale, where we explore a popular story in Japan. In today's edition, we take a look at a presence so terrifying that an encounter with it would likely leave you horrified. In Japan, there is a spirit so terrifying that parents still warn their children about her. She is impossibly tall. She wears a white dress and a large hat that hides her face. And when she finds someone she likes, she follows them. People say if you hear a strange sound behind you that goes po, 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 it may already be too late, because that means Hachishaka-sama, the tall woman, has chosen you. The most famous story comes from a young boy visiting his grandparents in rural Japan. It was a normal summer afternoon. Cicadas buzzed in the trees. The air was quiet and peaceful. The boy was playing outside near the garden when he suddenly heard a strange sound. Po, po, po. At first he thought it was a bird, but then he noticed something strange. The voice sounded deep, like a man's voice, but it was coming from somewhere above him. He slowly turned around, and that's when he saw her, a woman standing behind the hedge. Except she wasn't normal height. She was towering above the fence. The boy froze. The woman wore a long white dress and a wide hat that covered her face. But what terrified him most was her height. She had to be at least 8 feet tall. Her body bent strangely as she looked down at him. Then she made the sound again. Po, po, po. The boy ran back into the house, shaking. When he told his grandparents what he saw, their faces turned pale because they knew exactly who he had seen. The boy's grandfather immediately locked every door. His grandmother began calling people from the village. Soon, an old woman arrived. She listened to the boy's story carefully. Then she said something that made the room go silent. "You've been chosen by Hachishaka-sama. According to the legend, Hachishaka-sama is a malevolent spirit that hunts children. Once she becomes interested in someone, she will stalk them for days, and eventually, she takes them. No one knows exactly where the victims go. They simply disappear." The villagers decided to protect the boy. They placed him in a small room, surrounded by sacred charms and statues. 4 bowls of salt were placed in the corners of the room. The boy was told not to leave the room, no matter what he heard. As night fell, the house became silent. Then suddenly, from outside the window, he heard it again. Po, po, po. The voice circled the house slowly. Sometimes it sounded like it was right beside the door. Other times, it sounded like it was standing on the roof. The tall woman had come for him. The boy stayed inside the charm-protected room until morning. By sunrise, the strange voice was gone. The villagers believed the spirit had finally left. But before the boy returned home to the city, the old woman gave him a warning. Never come back here. Because once Hachishaka-sama chooses someone, she never completely forgets them. And somewhere in the countryside of Japan, people still claim they hear a deep voice in the wind. Po, po, po. If you ever hear it behind you, don't turn around, because the tall woman might already be standing there. That's all for today. Thanks for your continued support to this channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to grow the channel and explore more legends untold. See you in our next